Welcome to the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Here is your host, Jenny Jones.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Jenny Jones. I am your host for the Digital Growth Hacks Club. Hey, listen, I had an opportunity to catch up with Abai here from Mutant Mail. I wanted to pick his brain some more because I think a lot of people, you saw my other video. I'm going to post a link to that in the description, and you can probably see it up here. I'm going to go ahead and put it up there. You can go to that and take a look at that really quick to see if you have an interest in this tool. And I want him to be able to, I want us to have a dialogue about Mutant Mail. I want us to discuss a lot of different use cases and a lot of different scenarios, because this is the type of tool that when you get it, you go and buy like 3 or 4 codes at least. But when you don't get it, person says, I don't know if I need that. Maybe I'll just buy 1 code. And then right now they have a special, a lifetime deal. What's going to happen is his tool is going to be gone. And most of you guys know me from this station. I'm always doing these unicorn tools. People have never seen them before, but I always figure if they can help your business grow, then we want to be able to try to put them on our show. So I'm going to have Abai, Abi. We're going to have Abi introduce himself, kind of tell you a little bit, take about a minute or two just to kind of tell you a little bit about the tool. Let me set the tool up for you first. Let me tell you the reason why I was interested in it. Then I'm going to let him do that because he's going to get real technical on you guys. So I just want to make sure we keep it straight so everybody can get it. Right, Abi. So what's going to happen is this tool, let me just set the tool up again for you. This tool is Mutant Mail. You can get a link to it in the description later below if you take an opportunity to see it. But Mutant Mail, to me, I call it a traffic cop for my mailbox exchange or my MX records. And if I want all of my email to come in, let's use my Gmail. If all my email comes in my Gmail, I wanted to go all out my Gmail. I can have 50 email IDs, all of them, and maybe 5 domains. I can have them all run through my Gmail, and I want him to be able to explain that. So as soon as it comes in my Gmail, I can reply right back out, and it goes right back out to them. I never missed a step. And you see the video, like I said, I posted it up there, and it's another one in the link below. I actually just show you a graph of what I actually did already with the tool, but I wanted him to come back and try to answer some use cases and try to ask some difficult questions and why this may work out for you. So again, without further ado, I want Abi to introduce himself and kind of set the tool up a little bit more, and then I'm going to go through some questions for you. So welcome to the show, sir. Sorry about that. I know it's a long introduction, but welcome to the show.
All right. It's good to be here. So, my name is Abi, and I have been into tech industry for little over a decade now. I have worked as technical architect for top 50 companies. And honestly, when I started Present is the name of the company, which is the company behind Mutant Mail. I was not sure where it was going, because when I started, it started as a services company. I started with drop shipping, e-commerce, affiliate marketing.
So you start out as a normal entrepreneur. That's what entrepreneurs do. Yeah.
You name it. I have tried all of them. Affiliate marketing on and off. I have always been doing for 8 or 9 years now.
Right.
But this services thing was quite new. I mean, I have always helped out people free of cost building WordPress websites and whatnot, because I always had that sort of technical hand and knowledge. And people loved it.
It's very important to be able, if you have a small company, I have a small company as myself, and I have an assistant. I may sometimes if I'm getting ready to do a big workshop or something like that, I'll bring on another VA as well. And so when I'm scaling, but again, I run 3 companies, right? And I run about 7 different brands. So I'm always using email. I depend a lot on email. So when I saw the tool, I started digging into the tool. That immediately attracted me because I shared, even like I said in the video below, or I shared it with you above, is I can't get to all the emails at one time. This is a perfect solution for a solopreneur or a small company trying to grow or scale. Here's what I will say on the business side of what I do in my business to my partners or people out there listening. Your mindset should always be trying to scale. You should always be trying to add services to your product of services that you have now. Because if someone's on a monthly recurring with you or MRR, monthly recurring revenue with you, they're going to always be searching for a way to replace you, or they're always going to be searching for a way that you can add value. So that's just something I wanted to put in there. And with that being said, you should always be trying to scale. With that being said, that's the reason why Mutant Mail, I was attracted to it, because it gives me the ability to scale. Now, do you want to follow up with that? Because I was going to go into another question. Do you want to have anything to say with that? Because we heard what happened with yours, and you missed it that time. But do you want to follow up on anything that I just said before I started to ask you some other questions?
No,
Do you
that's good
agree?
enough.
Do you
Yeah,
agree with that?
I completely agree.
You're
In
supposed to
fact,
agree with it, because that's why a person would need Mutant Mail. But honestly, do you agree with that statement that I made as far as always wanting to scale? Let's ask you that first.
yes, that is completely true. With Mutant Mail in place, you can always add email IDs without the hassle of generating a new credential altogether. And
So
in
let's talk
fact,
about go. You want to go ahead and finish? Because I was gonna give you an opportunity to talk more about that. But did you want to get into that right now? Because I was gonna tell. Do you want to finish something? You want me to let you finish your thought? I'm sorry for cutting you off.
no, that's okay. We can bring it on later.
Okay.
Not a
Yeah, no,
problem.
because I there's so much I want to get to, right? And I want to give you the opportunity, if you want to share some, just say, hey, Jenny, quit cutting me off, man. So, and I'm cool because I have a tendency to do that, because my mind is always spinning. I'm trying to get to the next question, but I want to make sure that what would a person listening want, what they would want to know.
Correct, correct. Let's start with the very important ones or very catchy ones first, so that the people will at least have a better hook, and then we can keep on adding more and more things, what people will be interested in.
So let's start with a scenario where um, it's easy with me, because I have maybe 200 domains.
Mhm.
I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I have about 200 domains. I have a domain manager software that manages all my domains, tell me which certificates are expiring, when a domain is ending, all those types of things. Um, the thing with me is I'll have domains that I may not deploy now. I may deploy a domain in 6 months from now. What I mean by deploy is I may not even use it for a landing page. I may have a concept on a project that I'm working on. I may not deploy it for another 6 months and actually put it into use, right? So I have about 200 domains, right?
Hmm.
And so with that being said, if I needed a Mutant Mail, right? If I needed to get maybe a 2-stack, I think for my setup, I have a 3-stack. So there's 30 domains that I have, and there's 35. There's 30 domains that I'm allowed 30 domains, and I have 100 email IDs. So from those 30 domains, let's say right now, I can't use all of those domains at once, but right now I'm running about 15 domains, right? And so for a person like me, if you look at my cell phone, I carry 2 cell phones. I have a Apple phone, and I have an Android phone. My Android phone carries a lot of my IDs. So when I set up my Gmail client, and when I set up my regular Android client, and I showed on that video, is I have about 11 of them there, but I have other domains that are forwarding to the 11 that I have there. So I got this long list. So I'll go a day or go by, and I may get a couple of emails in on it. But tell me where would it be different for a person like me, or there may be someone out there that may be in the same situations. Man, I got to manage all of these domains, because if you run blogs or if you run landing pages, you're doing LMS training here, and you got another training website there, and you got a blog here, and people start sending you emails, it'd be a lot for me, I know, to keep up with. So tell me what the solution, what would a Mutant Mail help me with, and something like that?
Okay, so actually, it has multiple important scenarios that we should touch on
Okay.
while I'm explaining this part of the question.
Sure.
The reason being, when you are running, let's say 15 websites,
Right.
I'm like pretty sure not all of your 15 websites are running on one hosting.
That's correct.
I'm fairly certain you
That's
won't be
correct.
using one hosting for
Right.
all those websites, because each website will have its own requirement of hardware. And if you are actually putting them all together in one hosting, you're doing something really wrong, because all your 15 websites can
Go down at
go
once.
toast,
Right. Right.
go down at once if
Please
there
don't.
is a disaster scenario.
Please don't ask me how I know that, but go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm learning.
I
I'm
mean,
learning a lot, man. I'm learning a lot in this business. But go ahead.
yeah,
So you can't have all
yeah.
15. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so that is one thing. So now imagine this: you have 15 websites, let's say sitting on 5 different hostings,
Yep.
and you have email hostings. I'm guessing you purchase for each one of them from their own hosting,
Right.
because somewhere you would be using your email hosting, right?
Mhm.
And if you will look at this GoDaddy thing, they used to give email IDs for free for each domain that you purchase.
Mhm.
Now they are charging you $12 this January, $12 per email ID per domain per year. That is
Right.
the cost.
Right.
That is the
Because
cost that is going to fall on
so
everyone.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think GoDaddy just introduced something, because they used to give it to you for free, right?
Yeah.
But now everybody's charging you. Okay, so
Yeah.
with that being said, now I know where you're going with this, but go ahead and finish. Good one. That's a good one. So now they're charging. You says, oh, okay. You know what? We could actually end this conversation. We could end this call right now just by you making that statement. But I'll let you go ahead and finish, because it makes even more sense now. Go ahead.
Okay.
It's like, what is this guy doing here? Right? Because if they're charging me $12, if I already have 15 domains, right? I have 15 domains, right? And let's say I got, I don't know, let's just do 2 emails. That's 30 emails, right? Let's just keep the numbers very simple. That's 30 emails I'm paying $12 a clip for. Hold on, let me get my calculator, right? So go ahead and finish out, because I'm gonna tell you what the cost is on that.
Okay. Let's so that will be good at its cost. If not, just imagine, let's consider something cheaper then. What about Zoho? You take one domain.
Uh-huh.
You take one domain. And suppose you need more than 5 email IDs. It is very feasible that you need more than 5 email IDs on a domain. Zoho will charge you for it, and that will end up $12 per domain per year. Okay,
so that's about $360 a year.
Yeah, for GoDaddy, yes.
Yes, for that. That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot. And you may even have some email addresses that you're not even using, but you just have it.
Correct.
Oh wow, man, we're headed somewhere tonight. Okay, so go ahead.
That's a hole in your pocket. That's a big hole in your pocket.
Yeah, right.
Now imagine you need to create credentials for each of them. And since all of these email IDs are sitting in some different places, you don't have a central place where you can manage all the email IDs in the first place. You want to make any kind of configuration, you need to figure out where it is. Because I mean, how do you set up your email client in the first place?
Mm-hmm. I've seen software out there to help you keep up with your domains. I've seen a couple of those, but I haven't seen anyone help me keep up with my emails and save the cost. So already I'm looking at, even if I did a 4-stack of your tool for, if I did a 4-stack is 40 domains, 125 email IDs. So I want you to be able to explain that to us, the difference in a domain and an email ID. I think most people know what a domain is, but I wanted you to understand what an email ID is. So even if we did 40 domains at 125, right? We only talked about 30 last time. 30 was 360. If we did 125 email IDs, it's still only 240, but that's a one-time cost, right?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and finish, man. I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place. I'm getting excited because you already saved me money. I think I got to go back and buy a couple more codes. But go ahead.
Okay. So now configuring your email clients.
Right.
People keep on talking about or comparing the Mutant Mail to an email client, but
Yeah.
this thing is not at all an email client in the first place. That is the reason we tend to make it clear for audience that it is a server side solution, but apparently we are not getting it as through.
So you guys are not holding any emails. You're just a pass through. You're just a traffic
Yes.
cop, like I said. Or you want to explain that a little bit more, or no?
No, it's good. Basically, we are just routing the emails from your domains both ways, to and fro,
Okay.
on the receiving end as well as on the reply end. We just what you say, route your emails. We don't store your emails. We don't log your emails because we understand there is at least one email provider already whom you trust with your privacy of emails. Everyone
Right.
has at least one email provider. It can be Gmail, it can be Hotmail, it can be a personal email provider that I don't know about. Anything will work.
So let's talk about trust. Let's talk about security. If I'm sending stuff to you guys, right? How do I know it's secure, right? How do I know if somebody's sending me some sensitive information? And here's the thing with clients, right? I have clients, right? I deal with financials. I deal with financial statements. I normally have a client portal for them to upload different things into. That's a secure, and it's double authentication for them to upload different financial statements and things to me. So that's what I do on that end. But normal correspondence, right? Somebody may clients always put sensitive information in there. So how do I know it's not over there where you're at in India, sitting somewhere on a server and says, hey, somebody's birthday and their driver's license number is sitting on your server over there. So tell me about that. How do I know? Or am I just going off your word? You tell me, talk to me about that.
Well, it is very difficult to actually prove the negative. I mean, how do you prove something that doesn't exist in the first place?
So it's not even sitting on you. It's not even sitting. Now, is it putting? Now I know these packets run in ones and zeros and all that, right? So is it putting it in a packet and then forwarding it on from the traffic cop of Mutant Mail? It comes to Mutant Mail. Mutant says, "All right, come in. Okay, you need to go over here." What is going over there? Is it a packet of information of zeros and ones, or is it encrypted?
Pretty much that is what it is. You get a packet. What we do is we read where it came from, where it needs to go. Okay, we change the to format on top of it or the from format on top of it. We don't even read what is the content of that email. We don't know what it is. We just route it to whatever destination or control email ID or recipient email ID you have created the routing for. We just forward it. We don't know the contents of your email.
So you probably can't prove that on the phone, but how do I know? I'm the customer out there, right? Because I'm the customer out there. Someone is looking at this in right now and says, okay, so how do I know you're not reading it? How do I know? I'm just asking you. Did I catch you? I didn't want to catch you in a bad spot or not, but I'm just asking you a question that someone would ask you. So you can tell me right now, and that makes sense. She's like, hey, listen, we just look at the header. You can say, hey, our software just looks at the header, and the header says from here to here. We don't even care about the contents. We count the packet size because we want to make sure that the bandwidth, but we don't look at the contents. Is that what you're telling me? Is this what you're telling me right now?
Yes, that is what it is.
Okay, so just reads the header.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. It only reads the header, and the headers are really important because without that, the routing is not possible.
Right.
That is exactly where the routing is happening. We don't know the content, but if you will consider, if you are honestly, if there is a trust issue because of just a routing of emails, consider this: you are storing your emails with a lot of email providers who are not known in the field.
Whoa. Stop right there. Let's stop right there.
Okay.
He's like, oh, what is Jenny about to say? what I'm about to say is you are absolutely correct. We just don't think about it like that. Right. So we slow it down. We says, wait a minute, this stuff's going to India, man. I don't know where my stuff is going to come back, man. I don't know where my stuff is going. When in actuality, they don't even know where their other email addresses. Like these people want to get, like right now, people can't tell you where, what is it called? Free domains. Is it free domains? And I think there's a couple of other, there's a lot of domain providers that people say, hey, I'm using XYZ domains because they only charge me $2. I'm like, okay, I've never heard of them. They don't even know where that email is going.
Yeah.
Is that so people don't even know where their email is going right now? And you're basically saying, hey, listen, we don't even look at your email. We're just looking, we don't even have time to do that. We're just moving. We're just reading the header file and we're moving forward.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So enough on that, right? So I think people are getting a picture on that. So let's talk about what an email ID is, and I'll help you with it. And I think you could probably tell me if I got it. Because if I'm trying to explain it that the normal person to get, because you're going to get technical, you're going to start talking about condition statements and X equals square and all this other stuff. But we'll leave it to the non-techies. So if I'm looking at a 4-stack, a 40 email, this is a good stack, 40 allowed domains, right? In my demo, I only showed people 3 domains that I have, three of my main domains. And what I said was my 3 domains, I have an info at domain. So I have 3 domains that say info, because people say, hey, I want to know more information. Well, I have them all of them say info. All those infos, now I have to respond to each domain versus I can have all 3 of the infos come to my Gmail and I can respond back to the appropriate info. So that's one thing. But the emails that run underneath, what sits underneath the domains are the email IDs. So now I have an admin, I have a Tina, I have a Janet, right? I have a Jenny. Those would be email IDs. Is that how that works?
Yes. That is exactly how it works.
So that would be allowed domains. I have 40, but I can set up 125. I said subdomains. I think I said, but they're not subdomains, but it's almost like that's kind of how you explain. That's almost a way to be explained here. But I have 3. So if I have a 4-stack, I have 40 domains and I have 125 sub email addresses that I can put underneath that. So I can put Jan, I can put hello, I can put whatever. So I can put 125 of those together. Is that correct?
Yeah, 125 across your 40 domains.
Across the 40, right? In any measurement, right? One of them can have 100. One of them could have 100 under that one domain, and the other 2 could just have 20 under one and then 5 under the other. Okay, so I got it. So that makes clear. I just wanted to make sure we clear that up. Are we good? That makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about, let me tell you, and everybody knows me, I love tools that have these unicorn features. Or I was on with another founder the other night that has these what we call Easter eggs, right? And one of the Easter eggs that I stumbled upon and I called into your tech support is like, hey, dude, what is this? You guys have this feature where you can create an email ID on the fly. Let's hear about that. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, so there is something called a catch-all feature that we have. See, the catch-all actually has existed in the email world for quite some time now. But then the problem with catch-alls always had, in fact, all the email forwards in general had, there was no way to reply on those forwarded emails.
This is true.
That is exactly what Mutant Mail was. But we all love doing email forwarding. Nobody can debate that they don't love email forwarding.
I love it.
The reason being, you get everything in one place, you monitor it, but when you need to reply, you need to go and log in back to those email IDs without Mutant Mail scenario. And log in there, find that email, reply to it. So the catch-all feature, what it does is, the first time you receive an email on an email ID, which is not present in Mutant Mail system. For example, you have jennyjones.com, for example,
Right.
and you don't have Tom and Jerry email ID on Jenny Jones.
Right. I don't even know.
Let-
Yeah.
let-
Cartoon characters.
let's
Sure.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Let,
I don't want, go ahead and finish.
let's assume that. So first time I send you a mail on Tom and Jerry at the rate jennyjones.com, Mutant Mail, and if you have catch or enabled for that particular domain in our dashboard, Mutant Mail is not going to decline that email. It is going to create that email ID for you, and it is going to use your account level default routing and ensure that you receives that email.
Wow.
So
okay. So did go ahead and finish, because I want to make sure I explain it right and I get it right. So go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish your thought.
okay, so basically you have one more email ID created with Tom and Jerry at the rate jennyjones.com. And it works exactly like your other email IDs on the fly.
So on the fly, you
Yeah.
can create Tom and Jerry at jennyjones.com. So let's say I'm doing, like right now, we're doing a interview. And I say I'm doing a podcast. Let's just say, because I'm giving these different scenarios because this is very powerful. So let's say I'm invited on as a guest on a podcast show, right? And this is, hey, Jenny, can you send me something? Can you announce a winner? Why don't you give something away, Jenny? You've been such a great host. Why don't I say, I didn't have a plan to give anything away, but why don't you send it to Jenny Jones giveaways at jennyjones.com? And they'll say, what is that? I'll say, just email us exactly, Jenny Jones giveaways at jennyjones.com. I showed up. I didn't even have that. But I know I have my domain as jennyjones.com. I can just say, yeah, just send it there. We'll get it there and we'll take care of you. Is that a perfect scenario?
Yes, that's the perfect scenario. And actually you can respond to each of those emails as well. The emails that you receive, because that is what
so I can go
Mutant Mail
one
does.
step further and say, hey, there's two people in the audience that win. One was named Tom and the other one's named Jerry. This is what I want you to do. I want you to say, hey, Tom, send Tom at jennyjones.com and I'll get your email address, and then send, or, I'll get your message and I'll respond to you. And Jerry, I want you to send Jerry at jennyjones.com and I'll respond to you.
Yep.
I can do that.
Yes.
With the now the catch-all feature has to be enabled. And now is that an extra cost or something?
No. There is no extra cost for it. But each email ID created will contribute towards your total account limit of 125 for the fourth step.
So if I'm at 125 and I created that, will it still pick it up? I'm asking. Let's say I already had 125. All of my seats were all filled up, and I get it, and someone puts me in a bind and says, "Hey, can you send me an email address?" Will it create one of those quick aliases on the fly?
No,
so it won't do that.
It won't do that.
I was trying to squeeze it, man. Hey, listen, people, I was trying to squeeze you 126 out, but what he's basically saying is, hey, your slots are your slots. And that's the beauty of it. And I want people to understand that you can always remove a slot and then, or leave that seat. I call them seats. You can always remove that seat. And now I have 124, but I still have one additional slot left, right? But to receive both Tom and Jerry, I have to take 2 slots away. So I have to have 123. All right. So got that taken care of, right? So my other question, as we kind of bring this to a close, so that's the one Easter egg. I had another question. Oh, before I get, so did you have anything else? How difficult it is to set this up? I liken it to, if I can set up 13 domains in my Android phone, right, where I'm putting the SMTP, right, I'm putting in the username and password. If I do that for 13 in my Android phone, I should be able to set this tool up the same way. Is that correct?
Yes. So our dashboard is complete mobile friendly. Till your DNS provider or your domain registrar has a mobile friendly website, which now everyone does almost. And you are able to edit your MS and your TXT record, and I believe we have one CNAME record as well. So till you are able to enter those in your domain, let the propagation finish. Normally, propagation nowadays finishes within an hour, but
Right.
officially it is said that it can take up to 36 hours,
That's
depending
true.
on which registrar or which DNS hosting you are using, DNS provider you are using.
Mhm.
It can take up to 36 hours, but we have not seen anyone had to wait more than 2-3 hours.
Right. So as soon as we set it, so as soon as we come and we update our records. So what is it? Do we have to do one? We have to do A records, or we have to do what do we have to set up on our? We have to cut and paste anything on the, go ahead, or do we have to go into the MX records?
So it will be MX record, because MX records are what is responsible for receiving of email IDs.
So that's a mailbox exchange. That's MX.
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So we are in process of adding more MX records. So in few days, you will see more than one MX record that you need to add. People who have already added MX record, they will get a warning. Their system will continue to work. They will get a warning that they need to add an additional MX record for backup purposes. We are adding that in our system.
Okay.
The system will still work. It is not like it is going to break anything at all. It is just going to be an alert stating that you need to add our backup email server in your MX record as well. Apart from that, there will be TXT records, which will be your SPF and Mutant Mail verified verification record.
Okay.
And these will be your email compliant stuffs, which are necessarily to ensure that your domain reputation and our IP reputation for emails are maintained, so that maximum delivery of emails are possible. And the last one is the CNAME record, which is necessary for DKIM key.
Okay. Yeah.
So that CNAME record will point to our subdomain where we have our DKIM public key. So that way you become DKIM compliant, and then
that's three. Is that 3 entries? Right. So you have a CNAME, you have an MX, so you have 4. So if you
total 4 entries.
And the way you guys have it set up, you say, hey, copy these records to your record, copy this record into your text. Okay, so that's normal. If anybody that's doing any type of email marketing or want to use their actual SMTP, wants to show it's coming from their particular domain, they have to pretty much set these records up. It is usually about 3 records. Yours is 4, but it is usually about, I think yours is 4 now because you have the redundancy built in, right? The backup.
Correct.
So let me ask you this. What if something happens in India where you're at? Where are your servers at? Or are you on AWS? Where are you guys at?
Okay.
What's going on?
So our DB server have migrated to RDS now, which is a managed database service from AWS. We have one failover replica running for DB in a different availability zone, and we have a read only replica running in a different region altogether, so that in case of severe outage like North Virginia region of AWS had, where it was full outage, we still would not be down for more than, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes.
Okay, that's a worst case scenario. Okay.
Yeah, that's the disaster case scenario if full region goes down.
Okay. So as we close, I have 2 questions. One is, where do you see Mutant Mail in 5 years from now?
Okay, so the way the traction is going on strong at the moment, I'm assuming I get the same traction in the MRR field. Fortunately, I have a couple of MRR customers, and
a couple is like 2 or 3.
No, more than that.
No, I'm telling you, listen, I'm in the US, I'm in the Western States. When you tell me a couple, I get worried. I have a couple. I have my neighbor and I have 2 other guys down the street. Well, that's what a couple means. So you say, hey, we got a couple hundred, man, we're good to go, right? But okay, so you have several. Okay, you're good to go on the MRR. So we're good on that. I just wanted to make sure, man. I want to make sure, and that's fine. We just need to know. So
no. In reality, we are break even on our MRR front. So our costs are already covered. That is one of the reasons we did not give up on the demand of putting unlimited everything on
Yeah,
the
it came.
LTD deals.
Yeah, I don't listen. They didn't. Did they try to talk you to do an unlimited? Did
Yeah,
they?
they did. They did.
That,
You should have seen my initial post, man.
I don't even
It
want to know
was
about it, man. I don't, I'm an affiliate, right? So I don't even want to know. Here's what I do know. I've talked to other founders. This is, yeah, they told us to put unlimited. I'm like, yeah, but you knew that was unsustainable. They're like, yeah, but
yeah.
they told us to put that there. So I applaud you. You say, hey, we didn't do unlimited, man. We can't do that. Yeah.
They initially bashed me so hard in I think first three communities that how come you can have a stingy limit like this and still run the system.
what I'm saying is,
Okay.
as long as you are going to be sustainable. My thing is, if I build my
Mm.
business on Mutant Mail, right? If I got 40 domains running through Mutant Mail, if I have 125 email IDs running through Mutant Mail, I just need to know, is Mutant Mail going to be here 5 years from now when my business does scale because I was able to put the solution in place? Are you guys going to be
it
here?
will be.
Yeah. Okay.
It will be. Well, I can assure for next 5 years,
At least the
we
next
have
5 years.
enough. At least next 5 years, I can assure everyone on LTD there will be no changes in the terms on any front. After 5 years, we will evaluate, and if worst comes to worst, we might not be adding features after 5 years. But for 5 years, there won't be any changes in any terms and conditions for any LTD user.
Interesting. Okay. All right. No, that's good. I think that's good that you have a 5-year plan, right? I think it's good that you guys are break even right now. It says, hey, we're break even right now. Anything we make over helps us probably add a few more features that we have that we want to do. Is there anything on your roadmap that you guys are working on, or is it in stealth mode? You can't really share it, or is there anything that it can get us excited about it?
We have multiple actually, but revealing either of them will be making a commitment that I don't want to.
No, we're not gonna. You are not gonna get on my show and make a commitment. Then everybody's like, Jenny, you said you make that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So as we kind of close up and we wrap up here, the name. That was my last question. The name. Everybody has a name. I meet with all your founders, man. You guys got all these names. He's like, hey, I saw, I used to have an animal or a pet name, a pet whatever, and we used to call them that. So we just named the company that. So where does mutant? You guys used to watch TV shows, Teenage Mutant Turtles, or what a mutant is in the medical field? Go ahead. Where does mutant come from?
Okay, so when we settled on making this as a service, we needed a domain name. Okay, so I actually went and purchased not one but 6 domains.
That's what we do. That's what entrepreneurs do. But go ahead. Good thing those things are still cheap. Go ahead.
That's true. So I purchased Cliff Mail, Mutant Mail, Mail Stack, and few others.
Right. Yeah.
But for us, Mutant Mail sounded good because mutant in these TV shows or in these TV series, X-Men series or any other famous series, they are basically extraordinary humans doing normal stuff in general life. As simple as that.
Okay, so that's what you came up with. That's because it's doing extra stuff. So I'm looking up. I just looked it up. It says mutant resulting from or showing the effect of mutation. That sounds better, right? Because I get it. Because a mutation is something that continues to grow genetically, right? So it's DNA sequences and stuff like that. So that's what a mutant is. To me, that sounds better. So when people ask you, hey, where the name comes, you say, hey, it's resulting from showing of the effect of mutation. Can you remember all that? No.
My God.
Hey, man, I want to thank you for joining us here on the show. We had a good time, man. So listen, what do you recommend? I know you recommend, and it's funny because some founders say, "Oh man, you need a full stack. You need to buy 10." It's like, whoa, I don't know if I need 10. But I think when I first engaged with you, when I first started talking, you said, "Hey, listen, anyone that has over 5 domains need to at least be looking at this tool." What I'm going to say, or what I'm going to suggest, is everyone wants to scale, right? I know I want to triple my business from last year. I had a pretty good year. I think the pandemic has been very good for me, but anybody that wants to scale, or in their mind, they've already put their goals together for 2022. If they want to scale, right, what would be a good starting point for them? Because your one stack gives you 10 domains, 50 email mutants, right? That grew, right? So it's 10 domains, 50 email IDs. What is, oh, that's what I meant to ask you. What does 15 recipient email IDs mean?
Okay. So those are your control recipient or forwarding email IDs. Those will be the real email IDs where your emails will be stored. Those will be outside the Mutant Mail system. For example, you have all the email, you have jennyjones.com attached with Mutant Mail.
Right.
The email, since we do not store the emails, finally the emails needs to be stored somewhere outside the system, right? It can be your Gmail ID, it can be a GoDaddy email ID, it can be anything, CenturyLink email ID, or Hotmail, Yahoo, anything. It can
Okay,
be
so now
ID.
I think I know what it is now. So can I explain it to you what I think it is?
Sure.
So I want to make sure that other people are getting it. So when I give this the scenario or the example, like you saw in my demo, there should be a link in there somewhere in the description. My demo, I'm showing you one Gmail account, just one. And I'm showing you that one Gmail account where all the email comes into, goes through Mutant Mail, then it comes out that same email. That is one recipient email ID.
Yes.
Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wow. I didn't even know that. That's even better. That's an even better deal. Man, you guys better get this deal, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and finish.
You can have up to 15, and it is up to you how you want to route your emails. If you want same emails to be forwarded to 15 email IDs, I mean, I can't think of a scenario where you would want to do that. But let's say you want to, it is up to you the way you do the routing.
So let me give you the best example. I just answered this question myself and I thought of it in my head. So on my demo where I'm showing in my phone, my Android phone, I'm showing 11 different emails, right? I could still have those 11 different emails, but I can create 50. Let me get it right. I can create 50 emails off of those. Right. So I have 11. All right. Which the 11 would be the recipient email IDs. Right. So I would use 11 of them. I'm just giving you an example. Or let's just say that's 15. So say I have 15 in my phone already. I'm tracking all these different 15. If I take those 15 emails, I can run from those 15 emails. I can still do another 50 underneath those 15 emails and still.
No, it's wrong. No, see, the way is those 15 are the real email IDs.
Yeah.
So you need to have 15 physical real email IDs, not associated with Mutant Mail.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I got it. I think I just explained it different to you. I got it. Because those emails that I showed you, what I was talking about, those are real emails. Those are real. I just shared with you. I just explained to you. I have 15 real emails in my phone.
Correct. my bad.
No. So what got me excited was I have 15 emails and I really only have 15 because that's how many I don't want to put any more in there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go through and set up the SMTP. I don't want to have to go through and set it up. And it's almost at the end of the phone, right? I have so many. When I go to emails, it's that many. I was almost at the end of the phone. So now instead of doing that, instead of getting forwards and all that, I can still from those 15, I can still route another 50 through there and still, yeah. Or okay, that becomes powerful. Definitely if you want to scale. If you really want to scale, I can see how, and what I would do and what I normally do with my team is I always sit down, I draw it out first. And like I've shared with anybody, if anybody listens to any of my channels, I always begin with the end in mind. I always say what I want people to do, what I want them to be when I'm done. If your email comes in here, where do I want it to go? Do I want you to go to tech support? Do I want you to go to admin? Do I want you to go to information? And I'll draw it up first. I always draw up a schematic first. And then I just come in and I implement it and plug everything in. Okay. I love that.
Now,
go ahead.
So now imagine if you want to implement the same thing on Mutant Mail across your domains, you can ensure all the emails that comes to your admin handle on all your domains can be redirected or routed to a single email ID.
That's correct.
Yes. All the support emails can be redirected across your domains to a single email ID.
Right.
Same with your legal and whatnot.
Right. So if I have 10 domains from 10 different brands, but I have an info at each brand, right? Info at this, info at that, info that. I can have all those infos come into one central.
Correct.
Or tech support. Okay, got it. Yeah, then that becomes even more powerful. Like if you're doing
that gives you easy scalability.
Yes.
Because you know what type of mail is always going to sit in that particular email ID. You don't have to think about it, what people is asking for.
Right.
Any email that is sitting on that email ID
they want more
is
related
to
Yes. That's powerful. I don't know. And the funny thing is, so give me one more, and I'm gonna let you go on this. Give me one more pushback. I'm gonna ask for pushback for the person that's out there, because I've seen you answer a lot of questions. The person says, well, I can just do this or just do that, right? Give me one. I think there was one I think we talked about the other day. And as we're going to close on this, for the person right now that's listening, for the person right now that's thinking, give me what they're thinking. Oh, I don't need Mutant Mail because I can just do this or just do that. Give me one good example. I don't need it because I can just use this software. Right? You've heard that before. I don't need that. I can just use this software or that software and it'll do this. He's like, yeah, but it can do that. But can it do this? So explain to me what you're thinking right now.
Okay. There comes only two questions that we often get compared to. The first one is Outlook. The other one is free Gmail aliases. Why should not we use the Gmail alias to control your email IDs? Or why we should not use Outlook to do same thing what Mutant Mail does?
Right.
It's the answer is exactly the same, because either way, you are using Outlook or Gmail aliases. You are using both of them as email clients, first of all. And as email clients, you need to attach SMTP, IMAP, POP for each of your email ID at per email ID, not at the domain level, at per email ID level to your client. So first thing, if you have 20 or 25 email IDs, forget about email IDs like we have 245. I'm talking about only 20, 25 email IDs. It's a big pain because for each of them, you have to remember a credential. And I will tell you what most people do. They will put password everywhere same. To ensure that they can log into each of those email IDs. Okay, so there is basically no security there.
Right, there's no security. That's the one thing you don't do, because once that one password is compromised, then everything you own is compromised. So then just imagine it, once it's compromised, then you have to go through. You have to change all of them over again. Yeah, that's
okay. Now, second problem with this setup is you are still paying for email hosting to someone. See, when you are actually connecting your IMAP or POP, you are actually connecting to someone's server where your emails are physically stored. Even though you are accessing it from Gmail or from Outlook, you are paying for email hosting to someone. I mean, why pay for it when you have a free Gmail account with a size limit of 15 GB. And you can, for most of the cases, 200 email replies that Gmail gives you is more than enough to handle. And if
Right.
you need to reply more, just attach more free email IDs.
Right. Interesting.
As simple as that.
So if I exceed, as I let you go, the last question, if I got 50 email IDs, let's say I bought one token, right? 59, 60 bucks. I mean, to me, to even get that, the lifetime deal, at least at 60 bucks, you can't beat that. But what if I need more email IDs? I don't know. Did you guys have a price already? If a person exceeds that and says, hey, you know what? I need 10 more email IDs. First of all, is that permissible? So a person could do that.
Yeah. So that is why we have code stacking in place. You can purchase 2 codes and your limits, I think, almost doubles.
Yeah. So it gives me 75 emails, IDs.
And 20 domains.
20 domains. Okay.
So,
all right. I'm talking about after the lifetime deal. I'm talking about next year. This time next year, I'm out of 50 email IDs, and can I just come back to you and buy more?
Well,
is that a tough question?
That is a tough question because we don't have an answer for it at the moment.
I would hope that you're going to work on that.
but if you I will say this, if you see that happening within 6 months, forget about 1 year. If you see that happening in immediate 6 months, I would rather go and purchase 1 extra code to have some cushion in place.
But wait a minute, you won't be selling codes in 6 months. Maybe you will, but let's just use a 6-month window. If I can always buy a code. So, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to understand. I don't want to put you, and I don't want you to make you promise anything that you can't deliver on, because people will look back on this video. Just you'll work with people. Just say, hey, we want to make sure you still get your email IDs, or we'll put them in some kind of code stacking. We'll try to still make sure you're able to get your email IDs. Okay. All right.
So basically, see, we down the line, it may not happen that we would be selling the recurring code thing or the LTD thing.
Right.
So we will honor the LTD deals that we have, but anything additional, most probably we will go with the subscription model. Anything extra, you go and pay for it. I'm fine with anything extra on top of it. You don't have to pay and purchase subscription for all the stuffs that you already have paid for in the LTD. But for anything extra, you go and purchase a subscription if the LTDs are not running at that moment.
Okay, no, I got you. That makes sense. Okay, no, I was good. So this was good. I learned a lot about Mutant Mail. I thought I had one more question. There's so much. It's not a complicated tool, but it is a easy setup and all that. Okay, I think that's all I had. Do you have anything else that you want to share as a last minute closeout for the people that are listening or viewing? Is there anything that you want to share?
Yes, I have actually. Okay. Our customers have actually found very interesting ways to use Mutant Mail or bypass limit of other SaaS providers. Okay, I will tell you scenarios. The Flowlu, for example, is a famous SaaS, right? People have been using it.
It is. It's a very good one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So now what my customers are doing is Flowlu on a lower tier allows you only 1 email ID access.
This is true.
Or they automate only 1 email ID. So now what these guys are doing is they pass all the emails onto that Gmail ID and then hook that Gmail ID into Flowlu account.
Oh my goodness. So now they got like 35, 40 email IDs off of one or something
one
like
Flowlu
that.
Account.
Oh, wow.
One Flowlu.
Listen, if you have Flowlu out there, you got to get this now.
and it is not just Flowlu.
Yeah.
Same is with Help Space.
Hey, don't be calling don't call out any other tools. I think people got it when you said that, right? I think people got it, right? That's too funny, right? So let me ask you this really quick, and this is one thing I want to clarify. So are these aliases they're setting up, or they just create these just packets? They just create email packets on the IDs. They're not setting up true aliases, or is that what they're really called? Are they really called an alias?
Oh, those are actually aliases, but for you, from any practical standpoint, you
Mhm.
won't see a difference between a real email ID and these aliases or email IDs that
Okay.
you create in Mutant Mail system. There is no practically there is no difference for you.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right. So no, is that it? Is that what you wanted to share? I don't want you to throw any other companies under the bus, man. Because if people are thinking, most of the people that figure that out, they're like, oh, I think this is good. I think nothing else. Again, if you got Flowlu out there, if you want to look at this tool, and there's some other tools out there that only give you one email ID, haha. No longer do I have one email ID, right? So anyway, this has been great. It's a B. I really enjoyed talking with you. You had a lot of energy, and I appreciate that. You kept us way longer than I thought, but that's because you had so much energy. And you're very passionate about your tool, and I appreciate that. I appreciate using your tool, and it's going to help me scale my business this year. It's already paying dividends already, so I appreciate that. That's why I had to get you on the show. I was like, man, people need to know if they want to scale. This is it. And I think the video that I did, I think I put on the thumbnail. I was like, hey, you want to be a solopreneur and you want to appear to be a Fortune 500 company, you can actually do that with this tool. And that's actually true. You can have all these different, they say, let me send you over to Janet, right? So there is no Janet. It's just another email alias. But again,
Yeah.
so we digress. Or you may have VAs that come and go, right? And you can just swap them out and stuff like that. So it's a lot of different ways you can use it. So it's been a pleasure talking to you. I wish you guys continued success on your lifetime deal and your MRR clients. And hopefully you guys have a good launch, and looking forward to seeing you guys do more. I'd love to have you probably come back after you guys do a major update. I think you guys are working on some stuff, so you can always come on the show and just let me know, reach out to me. I appreciate that. So thank you for joining us today on the show on the Digital Growth Hacks Club. We're always trying to find ways for you guys to grow your business, to help your bottom line. I want everybody to be in business. So I'm going to always try to give you the different tools, different hacks to kind of help you grow your business so you'll be around. And if you're in business, then you always come back to my show. You'll click and subscribe. If you're in business, I'm in business. All right. So again, thank you, Abi, for joining us today. Really do appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks,
guys.
Jenny.
All right. You guys take care. Goodbye for now. See you soon.
Thank you for joining us here on the Digital Growth Hack Club, where we help you elevate your business and your bottom line. Please do not forget to subscribe and share. And until next time, goodbye for now.